Greetings, fellow horror fans. Well, a look at the Child's Play series now continues on with Bride of Chucky. In Lockport, New York in 1998, Tiffany Valentine, Chucky's former lover and accomplice, bribes police officer Bailey into selling her Chucky's remains. After murdering Bailey, she repairs the doll and performs a voodoo ritual to revive him. Her godmother Damien arrives at her trailer. Tiffany is delighted when Chucky animates and suffocates him. Chucky and Tiffany get into an argument when Chucky laughs at the prospect of marrying Tiffany. She angrily locks him in a playpen, taunting him by giving him a wedding-themed bride doll. Chucky escapes and electrocutes her to death before using a voodoo spell to transfer her soul into the bride doll as revenge. Chucky explains that they want to escape their doll bodies. They must retrieve a magical amulet called the Heart of Damballa that was buried with his human body. They said the best bodies to inhabit are Tiffany's handsome neighbor Jesse and his girlfriend Jade. Tiffany asks Jesse to drive the two dolls to Hackensack, New Jersey, where Chucky's body is buried, in exchange for $1,000. Eager to marry Jade and needing money for it, Jesse escapes. Jade's strict uncle, Police Chief Warren Kincaid, plants a bag of marijuana in Jesse's van to frame him. Chucky and Tiffany kill Warren, then hide his body in the van. Jesse and Jade begin their trip. The two are pulled over by Officer Norton, who finds the marijuana. When Norton returns his patrol car to report it, Chucky ignites the car's gas tank, blowing it up and killing Norton. Jesse and Jade flee and begin to suspect each other of killing Norton. Nevertheless, they marry. While at a hotel, another couple steals Jesse's wallet. Tiffany murders him in revenge. Seeing this, Chucky realizes he's in love with Tiffany. He proposes and they have sex. The following morning, Jesse and Jade flee with their friend David. David informs them that they are prime suspects for the deaths, but he believes them innocent. After finding Warren's body, however, David becomes convinced they are murderers. When Chucky and Tiffany reveal they're alive, Azrael David is hit by a truck, killing him. Chucky and Tiffany steal an RV to evade the police. Jesse and Jade instigate an argument between Chucky and Tiffany. In the commotion, Jade kicks Tiffany to the RV's oven, while Jesse pushes Chucky out of the window. Chucky forces Jade to take him to his grave. Jade retrieves the amulet from the casket. Jesse appears with Tiffany, now horribly burned. As Chucky begins the ritual, Tiffany has a change of heart and decides she doesn't want to hurt Jesse and Jade, and tries to kill Chucky. Chucky fatally stabs her. Jesse knocks him into his own grave with a shovel. Private investigator Lieutenant Preston arrives and sees Chucky alive in the grave, shocking him. Jade shoots Chucky several times, killing him. After declaring the couple innocent, Preston sends them on their way. Tiffany springs back to life briefly and starts screaming, giving birth to a baby doll which attacks Preston. Ugh. So let's take a look at the production of this movie, beginning with the pre-production. After release of Child's Play 3, John Mancini and David Kirshner decided that the series required a new direction and decided against returning the character of Andy Barclay. Work on the film began in 1996 under the working title Child's Play 4, The Return of Chucky, inspired by the roots of Scream. Mancini said, quote, "Like most genres, the horror genre goes in cycles, and I think we could thank Kevin Williamson and Scream for invigorating the market. Over the years, I had been imagining our new scenarios for this series. With its previous successes, we knew it was just a matter of time before we'd be bringing Chucky back, and David Kirshner and I both felt that it was important to bring him back in a new way. We wanted to elevate the series and reinvent it, go beyond what we'd done before. I've ended up with this. What we've ended up with is, incredibly, part horror, part comedy, part romance, and part road movie. It's a really cool blend of the generally creepy and the really funny," end quote. Ryan was hired to direct the film after Kirshner and Mancini were amazed by his film The Bride with White Hair, and was allowed to use his creative freedom and the ability to hire his collaborators Peter Pao and David Wu from Hong Kong. The inspiration to create a girlfriend for Chucky came from David Kirshner after he saw a copy of the classic Bride of Frankenstein in a video store. Mancini loved the idea and created Tiffany. He said, quote, "After all, two dolls running around the country together and killing people all unnatural born killer dolls, or Barbie and Clyde is really pretty funny," end quote. Mancini chose Tilly as his first choice to play Tiffany, after being impressed with her in Bound and Bullets Over Broadway. Gina Gershon, Tilly's co-star in Bound, encouraged her to take the role. In retrospect, Mancini commented, quote, once introduced Jennifer Tilly's character that brought a certain comedic camp vibe to the franchise, which I think is kind of historically a hallmark of gay culture, end quote. Referring to the increased use of LGBTQ plus characters in later Chucky films and TV series. Several months before production actually began of the film, Kevin Hager and his team began to create animatronic puppets for Chucky and Tiffany. For Chucky alone, 9 different puppets were used. Wow. And now on to the filming. Jennifer Tilly provided Tiffany's voiceover dialogue during a 3-day recording session held in Tannenbrad just prior to the start of principal photography. Bride of Chucky was filmed over a 12-week period in and around Toronto, Canada. Over half of the film was shot on the soundstage. Exterior locations that reutilized included the Clifton Hill Strip in Niagara Falls, an Art Deco motel complex on Toronto's waterfront, an army camp in Oshawa, and numerous rural areas. Each doll required 7 puppeteers to manipulate, a computer playback operator, and a puppet coordinator to act as liaison between the operators and the director. 3 puppeteers handled the movement of each doll's facial features, which were relayed through the use of a radio-controlled transmitter. All the doll's other below-the-head movements were cable-operated by the rest of the puppeteers. The doll's skin featured a combination of silicone and foam latex. Unlike the previous Child's Play films, the dolls were only made of foam latex, a material that had to be painted in a way that made it very difficult to light. Bart Winkles, who was among the 17 puppeteers who worked on this film, returned as the puppeteer of Chucky for the last time. Ed Gale and Debbie Lee Carrington performed in suit as Chucky and Tiffany, credited as Chucky double and Tiffany double respectively, during the graveyard scene. And now let's take a look at the legacy of this movie. The film garnered a cult following, marked by its distinctiveness and influence, while also establishing a devoted queer fan base and setting the tone for future installments. So overall, I actually kind of like this movie, and yeah, I know it's a little bit different than the first 3, but hey, it's different in a good way, so there you go. So yeah. So overall, I give Bride of Chucky 4 good guy dolls out of 5. Well, anyway, to know more as we take the next film in the series, Seed of Chucky. So until then, in the words of Charles Lee Ray, give me the power, I beg of you.